Let's see. Cha-cha-cha. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. And once again... Once again... Oh, that's so stupid. Why is it doing it that way? I don't know. I don't know. Alright, well, we're going to do this. Go there, go there. Oh, crap. This stuff is stupid. Let's see. Come on, meow. There. Good enough. Alright, so now we just have to wait for people to show up and start asking stuff, because I started a little bit early and I don't intend to have any set topics today. Ah, lovely tea, lovely tea. Ah. So we'll just wait for everybody to show up. I did announce that I'd be streaming tonight with a very small amount of notice, so Blaze the Catman is first. Hello, Blaze. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Alright. I'm doing okay. I am better now because I have an actual chair to sit in instead of a kitchen chair. And the reason that I have a chair to sit in is because YouTube finally paid me some of the money they owe me. And I decided, you know what? I don't need to spend $400 on a chair. Let's find something a little bit more affordable. And so instead of going for a replacement gamer chair, I just went for a very comfortable office-style chair like what I would have sat in when I was still working at the office for my job. So now I have this nice, comfortable chair with proper back support, and I can actually lean back and be more comfortable, but it makes me look like I'm fat like this, which I am fat, but you get the point. Or I can just as easily lean up and be my usual seventhness. You'll notice in the background, I'm making progress. We're getting there. We got curtains set up. Nice 50s movie theater style curtains. And I've got blacklight bulbs, LEDs, set up over the retro gaming area. So all of that, I'm going to be putting some stripping on the shelves so that they light up and reflect to that black light. There's already a rug under there that's a black light rug that reacts to it. And upstairs in 8's area, he's got black light bulbs running all the way through his loft and down the hallway. So all of it just has this kind of 80s arcade look to it. And he's going to be getting more blacklight posters and stuff to go in there to make it react more. I can only make that part of the room that way because the light that's up there is like this several $1,000 remote controlled ceiling fan with some kind of an LED that only has 2 light settings in it, and it's too much of a pain in the ass to get up there to change the bulb. So I'm just not going to fool with it, and I'll only have the black lighting back there in the retro area. But that's what happened, 2 weeks ago, after the hell that was that stream that I put on then, sitting in that kitchen chair. I was like, I really don't want to spend another 3 hours feeling like that. And so, right around Father's Day, YouTube actually pays me some of my money that they owe me. And I was like, do I really need to spend $400 on another gaming style chair? No. So I lowered my expectations, got this heavy duty office style chair with the ergonomic back support and all that, and I'm perfectly happy with this one. Got a nice cushion to it. Yeah, I'm very happy with this chair. Feels great. In fact, it feels more comfortable than the chair that I gave 8th when 8th broke. Let's see here. Hey, Chris. Hi, High on Life. So, no more donations needed for a chair. Nothing like that. There's not really anything else in here needed to, make the game room anything more than what I wanted it to be. I mean, the only thing left is the replacement arcade cabinet, and that's several $1,000s. So, you guys could donate for 20 years, and it wouldn't give me the money to buy that, because the original 7th arcade cab that Captain Retro made me is still in pieces out in the garage. So, and even when we put it all back together, it ain't going to work right, because it didn't work right when Captain Retro delivered it to me, and so he paid a guy to come out and reprogram it and fix it, and the guy only did about half of the work and said, well, I'm going to come back in 2 weeks, and then COVID happened. And he refused, even after COVID was over, he refused to come back out and do the rest of the work. So it's never worked right. It's never worked right. Some of the games work on it, some of them don't. And so, I just gave it to 8th, and 8th and his best friend, the kid that I refer to as my adopted son, they're going to turn it into a project, and they're going to completely redesign it, put a computer in it, put in new controls, everything, and it's just going to be their arcade cabinet for out in the garage, because, the garage has a full bar and all that. So that's going to be like the bar arcade machine, and then I'm just going to save up and get me one of those big multicades that has to be shipped on a big, a big payload truck that comes in 2 parts and, costs like, anywhere from $3,500 to $6,000, and I'm going to have it put right over there. And so I'll have my pinball machine here. I'll have my arcade cabinet over there. It's going to be one of the ones with the light guns and all that crap, all that happy crappy. And other than that, the only other things that I need is that TV is starting to go out. I think I've got maybe another year left to it, so I'm going to have to replace it. That's going to be about $2,000, because I'm not going 8K. I'll stick with 4K. And over there, where my Turk 182 poster is going to be hung, hopefully soon, I'm gonna save up, and I'm gonna buy a real jukebox that has a record player, turntable, and everything. Real jukebox that's gonna go right underneath that poster once that poster's hung. That'll be about $1,500. Once I have those things, this room is done. It's absolutely done. Now, as far as work for me to do, I still haven't gotten all of my games on the Polymega, as far as what the Polymega supports. So I have to do that. Now, one thing there's 3 more modules for it that I don't have yet. I don't have the N64 module. They're getting ready to come out with an Atari 2600/7800 module. I don't have that one yet. And I don't have the light gun module where I can play light gun games on it. All 3 of those are like $80 a piece. So I guess those are things for the game room. But as of right now, I'm just like still installing stuff. I've only gotten a fraction of my NES and Genesis libraries on here. But as soon as I get more of those done, we'll see about doing some retro game streaming. That sounds cool to y'all. But anyway, it is Saturday. It is 6 o'clock, June 22nd, 2024, and this is the 7th Cast. Greetings and salutations. As always, I'm your venerable host, your friendly neighborhood 7th. 8th is upstairs in the second floor of Casa de 7th 3.0, doing Lord knows what, probably playing the Elden Ring DLC. He has been completely absorbed in that since it came out, with because a friend of his gifted it for him, including the big statue that came with it. He was very excited about that. But the only thing that has torn him away from the Elden Ring DLC this week is earlier today I took him to see that new Tom Hardy movie, Bike Riders or whatever it was called. It was pretty good. It was like a cross between The Wild Ones and Goodfellas. It was interesting. It's not as good as Goodfellas, but you could tell they were going for that vibe. So, what am I sipping? That's iced tea, unsweet iced tea. Another thing you might notice: no vape unit. I quit. I've been off vape for going on 2 weeks now, because it was just simply getting to the point where I couldn't afford it anymore. I was paying $70 a month for the actual vape juice, and I was paying another $30 a month for the coils. So it was costing me $100 a month to vape. That's $100 that could go towards other things, especially considering what little free money I'm going to have until my car is paid off in October. And so I just up and decided, you know what? I'm just not going to order another batch. I'm not going to do it, and let's just see what happens. Well, what happens is I got really sick. I was all right for the first 3 days. You know, little jittery, little easy to get angry. And then the morning of the 4th day, I gained about 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks. I haven't lost weight. I've gained about 10 pounds from being off the vape, because my metabolism took a hit from not being constantly high on nicotine like I was. But the morning of the 4th day, I woke up and I was just hit with this tremendous sense of vertigo. Like the room was spinning, like I was drunk, like I was really, really on the verge of alcohol poisoning drunk. The room was spinning. And I could make it stop by focusing my eyes on one point. But if my eyes deviated to the left or right, it would instantly set it off again, and the room would be spinning again. And I staggered up, and I could barely walk straight because I was so dizzy from the shit. And I walked down to the bathroom, and I threw up all in my bathroom sink. And for about 3 or 4 straight minutes, just bleh, bleh, throwing up. And I was sick like that all day. And then finally, towards the end of the day, that went away. And as I understand it, when you've been vaping or smoking cigarettes for an extended period of time, your brain gets used to functioning with less blood flow and less oxygen than it would normally get. And so with me having quit vaping, all of a sudden my brain was getting a lot more blood and a lot more air than I normally would have. And so I was essentially stoned on oxygen. And that once my brain readapted to be getting the amount of blood and air that it was supposed to be getting, everything evened out and I'm back to normal. So now, there's no longer any physical withdrawals. There's still kind of a psychological thing. Like I'll be talking or doing something, and I'll want to reach over to grab the vape unit to take a shot. And there's no vape unit to grab. And the way that I have coped with that is I just bought me, I don't have them over here, but I bought me a little box of toothpicks. And every time that I have that craving to grab the vape unit or to grab a cigarette or whatever, I just grab a toothpick and I stick it in my mouth and I just, flicker it around and chew on it. And that seems to have done the trick there as far as the psychological part of it. Let's see here. How's the garage bar? We haven't done a whole lot of work in the garage yet. We've been focused mainly on the house. Like, I still haven't put up any of my posters. I don't have anywhere to put them in here because all of the ceilings are like 20 feet high, and I don't have even if I felt comfortable putting my fat ass up on a ladder, I don't have a ladder high enough to hang posters that high. So all of my posters are going to end, except for the one that's framed, the Turk 182 one, it's going back there. The rest of my posters are going to be hung going up the stairs there. And then we're going to hang some over the side of the balcony there. But otherwise, that's it, because any spare wall that I can actually reach, that's where more action figures are going to go, because I don't have anywhere. And then over here, I'm gonna buy at least 2 more sets of shelves, maybe 3, but I don't think I can fit 3. We'll see, but at least 2. That's what any further donations could go towards. Right there is buying the last of the shelves that I'm ever going to need in here. I'm going to need at least 2 more, and they run a little over $100 a piece. So you might as well say $250. That buys those new shelves. So there's the donation goal, $250. We got the chair taken care of. Now we deal with that. Oh, and I got my pool pass. So I now have a key to get my disgusting fat ass into the community swimming pool. So if I ever want to go up there and shamu around in the pool, I can do it now. Problem is, I don't have any swim trunks. So probably won't be doing that. Why no stream last week? Because I was still feeling sick from the vaping, from quitting vaping, and it was Father's Day weekend. You guys know I don't typically like to stream on holiday weekends. Let me catch up here. What are your thoughts on that vegan teacher? Do you know? I have no idea who you're talking about. Remember, I circulate in gaming circles. Okay. I mean, do I look like I frequent the channels of vegans? I don't know if you notice who is on my mug. These are the circles that I travel in. I don't travel in vegan circles. Most of the guys that I hang out with, it's still beer and pizza and hamburgers. Come on. Let's see here. Awesome job on the Tray for Life series. Thank you. I worked very hard on that, Elvin D. Frank. That represented a lot of work. I was very tired once I got all of that done, and I haven't actually made a legit video since. I've just done streaming because it burned me out so much. I didn't want to come anywhere near my computer for a good long while. Plus, I had all this going on. Finding out that I was going to have to find another place to live and what have you. It's been a stressful year so far. It's been a stressful year. Swimming with 7th, live stream that. No. I still remember what happened with Bath Time with Billy. Swimming with 7th would be a disaster, so no. So what's in the video game backlog? Erudian Chronicles, or however it's pronounced, that Suikoden spiritual successor. I'm still playing System Shock, Sandland. Just a bunch of stuff. Best and worst PSN trophies in any game. Best for me would be the platinum on Uncharted 2, because I had to beat it on crushing mode to get that. Worst would be any of those, Ratalaika games where all you basically all you have to do is turn it on and you get the platinum. They're very, very simple. Thoughts on the guy that stuck a fork in the toaster on Twitch and crapped himself? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't watch Twitch. Guys. I'm old. I started on YouTube and I'll end on YouTube. I dabbled in Twitch. None of y'all liked it, so I came back here. So he should have asked you if you caught up on Z. We spoke a few times from Otter Jesus. How you do? Otter Jesus. Good Lord. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. I'm doing all right. You don't remember Bath Time with Billy, Darkstar? Bath Time with Billy is when Billy from the Game Chasers would stream live whilst taking a bath and or shower. He didn't show any peeing or anything, but, he was naked in the shower. He used to do that all the time. Not so much anymore. What happened to El Presidor? He became the neighborhood cat man. Wait a minute. Oh, magic powers. Hey, 7th, did you try that hot dog bacon that's going to give you a heart attack? No. I was saying someday I would like to try that, but not today. Any plans for the big 5-0? Just to still be alive. That's that's it. Because you look at it. I'm going to be turning 50, right? My dad was 61 when he died. That's just 11 years from now. 11 years. 11 years is a drop in the bucket, gentlemen. You think, wow, that's a long time. 11 years will go by like that. I'm about to hit my 12th year with the company that I work for. It does not feel like I've worked for this company for 12 years at all. 11 years could be gone like that. Of course, when my dad died at 61, 11 years from now for me, he was still a heavy smoker. He smoked 2 packs a day, and he died of undiagnosed heart disease. I have regular visits to the doctor. I keep myself checked out, and the only things that are wrong with me right now is that I'm barely diabetic and I'm fat. And I don't want, before anyone says it, no, I don't have any plans on getting on that Ozempic crap because it's too damn expensive. I'm regulating my sugar just fine with Jardiance, which is the medicine they have me on. They have me on Jardiance for the diabetes, and they have me on rosuvastatin for my cholesterol to keep my cholesterol down, which I'm not really sure why. My cholesterol was never high. Even when they first started testing me, my cholesterol was like the cholesterol of a 16-year-old boy. So they can't really explain why I'm like this, because I eat like 1,800 calories a day. I don't eat super late. I don't eat a whole lot of sugary snacks. Every now and again, I might have an oatmeal cookie. That's the extent of it. I don't drink soda. I drink tea and water. And yet, I went on third shift. I was on third shift for 3 years. It screwed up my metabolism. I've been like this ever since. I've lost some of it, but I haven't lost to where I was when I first started filming these videos with you guys. Back in 2009. Lol, you're not that old. I'll be 50 in December. Can't believe Eric and Review Tech are going at it again. I'm not really getting into that. I'm not really getting into that. I've gotten along with all three of the people involved, but the only thing that I notice about this is that all three of them involved are using it to line their pockets. They're all getting donations off of it. It's just drama. If you want to donate because the person that you're watching is entertaining you, that's great. That's fine. But it seems that when it just seems like for the last little bit that every time one of them starts to get a little light on the donations, suddenly new drama erupts between the three. And that's just a little odd to me. Maybe that's just, my Trey Brotherhood mentality making me see a work where there isn't one. But it seems awful worky to me. I don't know. But that's why I don't get into the middle of it. Because to me, it screams work. That it's a work. And I'm just not going to play into it. Just not going to play into it. Do you prefer Metroid or Metroid Zero? I like the original. I think you can go past 70. That's the goal. That's the goal. I want to be the first man on my father's side of the family since my great-grandfather to make it past 75. That's what I want. I don't know if I'll get there, but that's what I want. My first platinum was Infamous. What was yours? X-Men Origins Wolverine. Thoughts on El Presidor's struggle with knocking down trees for climate change? Will you take it? Hell no, I won't do that. Never mind the fact that he wasn't saving anything because they were already dead trees. That's why he was able to do it. Do I still go to arcades? When there's one nearby and I want to go, sure. Rank Peter Jackson's Lord of the Ring movies worst to best. What's your opinion? 3-1-2. 3-1-2. Do you exercise or take walks at least? Well, I walk. I don't walk as much as I should. I mean, I'm a work from home IT analyst. There's not a whole lot physical to what I do. I sit in that recliner back there for 9 hours a day. That's all I do. And so when I'm done, I'll try to get up and walk around a little bit, but you'd be amazed how doing nothing physical can exhaust you after 9 hours of it. Most of the time, I'll finish my shift, I'll get up and go fix myself a plate of dinner. I'll sit down and eat it and then instantly fall asleep. And I'll wake up around 8 p.m. Uh-oh. I drank all my tea already and we're not even an hour into this thing. That's not good. That's not good. For some reason, I am the healthiest in my family despite getting soda every week. Then again, I work at a warehouse. You're doing a lot of physical activity. I can't do that clickbait clout drama shit. It's lame. Yeah, it is lame. It is lame, and I get tired of my feed being full of it too. Sometime you should do another game collection or media collection video. Those are my favorite memories of your stuff. Well, I try to do one once a year. I haven't done one yet because, of course, I moved into a different house. And it's taking a while to get everything the way I want it. Specifically, when you got an autographed copy of Modern Warfare 3 and used it to pick up dog crap. Yeah, I remember that. I don't have that copy anymore. I sold it. Of course, I didn't tell them that I used it to pick up a dog turd, but I did sell it. So I no longer own that. Let's see here. Do you like the Lord of the Rings of Power? Hell no. I watched the first season of it. I will not be watching season 2. That was a pile of crap. In a video game, would you rather have low health but health regen or high health and high defense? High health and high defense. Seventh, do you have Godzilla for PS4? Yes, I do. Complete in box. I have the rare painkiller for PS3 too. Wait a minute. Magic powers. Sorry I don't have any set topics for this week. I just didn't really feel like setting any. I mean, I didn't have a defined donation goal either, so, I just figured I'd come on here and wing it this weekend and let you guys just ask questions. What are your thoughts on the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake? I'm not a stealth guy. I don't really get into the whole stealth gaming thing, so I don't really care about it one way or the other. Go and refill your tea. Well, I don't really need to refill my tea because I've also got a bottle of water here. I just haven't opened it yet because the reason that I went through my glass of tea so fast is because every time I was taking a sip of tea would have been a time that I would have taken a hit off of my vape. And so it was just a repetitive hand action that was replacing the repetitive hand action of my vape. And that's why I went through my tea so fast. And that's why I haven't opened this yet, because if I open this when I'm still doing the repetitive hand action thing, I'm going to end up drinking all my water too. And we're not even an hour into the show yet. 7 thoughts on the Marvel vs. Capcom franchise. Don't care. Not a fighting game enthusiast. Never have been a fighting game enthusiast. Never been that big into it. What is your plan for the donations you retrieve from streams? Well, I already got the replacement chair, and so thank you for you guys that donated last stream. I didn't buy a $400 chair. I ended up getting a more affordable one. So right now, anything that got donated today, for example, would be to go to buy the last 2 shelves that I need. See, I've got 3 shelves back there. I need 2 more because right now, a good chunk of that's being taken up by PS4 and PS5 games, and I want to move those over to 2 more shelves over there so that I can maximize the space for the retro stuff. I mean, 8th has taken a bunch of the collection upstairs because I don't have a whole lot of room left on those 3 back there. So I need 2 more of those. And right now, Amazon has them on sale for, I think, $114.95 a piece, something like that. So it'd be $240 or so. Might as well say $250 with tax and shipping. $250 to buy 2 shelves. So anybody that donates anything tonight, that's what it's going to go towards. Is that replacing 2 shelves? The only other 2 things that I want for the game room are a new arcade cabinet, which that's $4,000 to $6,000. Forget that. And a jukebox, which is $1,500. Forget that. But $200, $250 for a couple of shelves. If y'all want to donate, that's what it'll go towards, and they will go right there on that wall. Let me see if I can I turn that wall. They'll go right there where that ladder is hanging. Right there. That's where they'll go. Let's see here. What's your favorite RPG archetype? Rogues over hoes is my mom. I usually go for a warrior class. I don't get into magic or any of that much, and I don't really do the rogue thing either. I go for straight hack and slash most times. Do you think it would be at all possible to re-release your channel theme songs? You had one from a long time ago that I really liked, very punk. I don't know if I still have them. I'll look. Where's thoughts on people that hide their trophies? They have something to hide. Where's Alex? I think she's in her bed. She's been sleeping a lot today. She's been kind of lazy. Thoughts on Tupac Killer being caught? Okay. He's still dead. There is a Wolverine ripoff in the new Elden Ring DLC. If your son knows, he knows. Where'd you get that chair? Well, I bought it off of Amazon. If you could pick a book, no comic book or manga, to get an adaptation exactly perfect your wants, what would your pick be? Savage by Richard Lehman. Go look it up. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. Just go look it up. You'll find out about it eventually. Hello, Juggernauts. My motto is tanks or us. Yes, yes. Did I catch that donation? Donation? Oh. Oh, $5 from Husky777. Hello, 7th. What's your favorite album cover of all time? I like the album cover to Def Leppard's Hysteria, and I like the album cover to pretty much any of the Descendants albums because I think the Milo logo is just kind of hilarious. Thank you for the $5. Oh, yeah. Need to give you a dollar bill. Hold on. Dollar bill, y'all. Dollar bill. Thank you for the $5. 245 to go. $245 to go. 7th, did you see my donation via Streamlabs? No, because for some stupid reason, this thing doesn't show me Streamlab donations anymore. I don't know why. Since, it's made by Streamlabs, but the stupid thing doesn't show me Streamlab donations. So when you donate by Streamlabs, you kind of have to let me know. Hell, I don't even get the little pop-up with, with dude going, I'm rich, bitch. I don't even get that anymore. I don't know why they stopped working, but they stopped working. And I don't know why. I mean, I've still got the donation alert here. I'm going to put it right here. For some reason, those just aren't working. Let me check my mail. Hold on a second, Dark Star. $10 from Darkstar. But I can't see if you asked anything. I can't see if you asked anything. Oh, just now look at that. Wow, that is late. Look how long it took for that to populate. What is up with that? Oh, here it is. Here it is, Darkstar. I don't get the little pop-up for those anymore. I need to fix that. Figure out why I get the pop-ups for the Super Chats, but I don't get the pop-ups for the Streamlabs. But I do have a line here. Yours literally came in like just before Huskies did. Tip $10. Here you go, 7th. Let it work. Okay. So we're at $15. So 235 to go to get my new shelves. Thank you guys. Love the new chair, by the way. Thank you for everybody for that. It's so cushiony. It's so cushiony. Oh, I could feel it in the crevices of my fat ass. Oh. All right, let's see here. You played Dry Spell in one of your update videos, and that's what made me get the whole discography. Dry Spell is a great song. Yeah. And the reason I could get away with that is because I used to be pen pals with all the members of the Descendants, and they reached out to the record label at the time, and I had permissions to use their music in the background without getting flagged for copyright. That was back in the day, though. They've kind of moved on from all that, and I don't hear from them anymore, but it was cool while it lasted. Let's see here. What has been your experience with parasocial relationships as a fan and as a micro-niche internet celebrity? Micro-niche internet celebrity. I don't even think that I qualify for that. You have to be careful. You have to be careful because, no offense to anyone that watches me, but, I treat you guys like I would talk to any friend. And sometimes people that lead extremely lonely lives or have emotional or mental problems can take that as there being a real connection there. And, 9 times out of 10 it doesn't lead to anything, but sometimes it can lead to them showing up unannounced and, the kind of attention that nobody really wants type of thing. So you have to be careful when people start to exhibit those kind of signs. You don't want to offend them, but at the same time, it isn't something that you want to ignore. And so, sometimes you just have to keep an eye on things and keep an eye on the way people react to you. And, I have friends in the real that I've met through YouTube, the Game Chasers and everyone that came along with them. And Brian, my buddy Brian, who now lives just down the road from me a piece on the other side of town. These are all people that, I've met through my YouTube channel. But I've also had some less than positive experiences meeting people in the real too. So you just have to be careful and, look for the signs of potentially dangerous interaction. And be sensitive about it, Don't just automatically assume because someone says something to you that seems a little off. Don't be quick to assume that they've added you to their lipstick assassination list. Don't just assume that, obviously, but just be mindful of it. Be mindful of it, and also, don't be that asshole that if you do find someone or someone finds you that has an unhealthy attachment, don't take advantage of it. Don't milk them. Don't try to con them into donations or any of that kind of stuff. Don't be the a-hole. There's multiple ways that situation can go. Don't make it go any bad way. Everyone has to make it through life in their own way. And for some people, that's having vicarious friendships over the internet. And some people take those more seriously than they necessarily should. It just kind of depends on the situation, that's all. Anyway, that kind of went a little bit deeper than I needed it to go. So, let's see here. Are you going to watch the new horror movie, The Strangers? No, because I didn't care for the original Strangers. It's just Home Invasion, the movie. Who gives a crap? I stopped using Streamlabs to stream when it was telling me not compatible with drivers. I haven't had that problem. And I'm not familiar with any other software, so this is the only software I know how to use. 7th and friends, it was fun. I have to head out to take care of some things. Always good time. See you. Well, okay, Chris. Bye. You have true train stories, like anything with trains you experience, like rail. No, I don't work for the railroad, and I've never rode on a train aside from the monorail at Disney World. Well, and the incline at Lookout Mountain, Chattanooga. I took the incline, and I've been to the Chattanooga Choo Choo Railroad Museum. That's about it. Not a railroad guy. Not sure where you would make that connection, Blaze. Hello, 7th. Glad you now have a proper back and ass support. So am I. This chair is awesome because I can lean back and I can just go, but then that makes me look like I got quadruple chins. And it makes me sound like this when I talk. This is not a good look for me. So I prefer to be sitting up like this. But, if I feel like I need to lean back, I can now because I have a comfortable chair. Thank you very much, everybody involved. What movie did you go see that made you leave the theater? I don't think I've ever gotten up and just walked out of a movie. My parents made me get up and walk out of a movie once. I can't remember the name of it, but it starred Fred Ward, the guy from Tremors and Remo Williams, and he had like a time-traveling dirt bike, and he goes time warping into like the Old West, and there's a bunch of cowboys and they're like cursing up a storm, and my mom was like, "This is too much bad language," and she grabbed me up and took me out. My dad was like, "Well, shit," and he got up and went out after. And that's the only memory I have of actually getting up and leaving a movie. Anything from the Xbox showcase have you interested? I've already forgotten the showcase. I know there was a couple of things I wanted to play, but now I can't remember what they were. My dad once told me that he played the Robotron arcade cabinet back in the day. Said he remembers getting 1,000,000 points, with 1,000,000 points significant at that time for that game. I don't remember. I haven't played it in a long time myself. I actually preferred a mod of that cabinet that was based on an old 80s movie. It was called Cloak and Dagger. And I actually liked it better than Robotron. Yes, I have the platinum on Ghost of Tsushima. Not necessarily my favorite game, because there's still kind of a stealth element to it. So, I just tried to play it like your typical Sucker Punch game. Like I was playing a cross between Sly Cooper and Infamous, and that seemed to work well for me. I have a video game recommendation called Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. We have it. I just haven't played it. It's upstairs with 8th. Well, who was the creepiest person you have dealt with online? Probably Blackie Lebowski. He's the only one that I've dealt with that was threatening to shoot people. What was the creepiest? That's what I just answered. Thoughts on Metroid Prime? Never been a big fan of it. I prefer the old school Metroid. Why is Chattanooga known for trains? Because the Chattanooga Choo Choo is there. You never heard the song? Pardon me, boys. Is that the Chattanooga Choo Choo? Yeah, that's why. Time Rider. That's it. Time Rider. My parents my mother made us get up and leave Time Rider because she said they were using too many bad words. 7. No, I don't like the Purge films. Do you think Rocksteady could get shut down after the failure of Suicide Squad, or as I like to call it, Kill the Arkham series? Yeah. it depends on how this next game they've got coming goes, I guess. When's the closest you've come to walking out of a theater? Probably Ghosts of Mars. Ghosts of Mars. That was a John Carpenter movie. I was so disappointed in it. I was like, I expect better from you, John. I was close to walking out, but I stayed. What are your thoughts on the Mandela effect, like with Pikachu? I just think it's people misremembering stuff. I don't buy into this whole, dimension swap crap. If that's the kind of stuff you believe, go watch Chris Chan. Doom, Stalker, Gears, and Perfect Dark, who now looks like Brie Larson. Your comment. Oh, okay. Don't care about Stalker. Doom looked okay. Don't care about Gears. Don't care about Perfect Dark. Tsushima plays like Uncharted and Metal Gear. I don't know about that. Because Uncharted is third-person cover-based shooter. 7th, have you ever played L.A. Noire? Yes. Since it's halfway through the year, what are the contenders for Game of the Year? I haven't made up my mind yet. It'd be such a shame if Rocksteady does get shut down. They've produced some very good games. Yeah, but a lot of times you're only known for the last one that you put out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm trying to ask why that train is special. Well, the Chattanooga Choo Choo, it was kind of the halfway point between Nashville and Atlanta. And then, a song got made about it, and the song made the train famous. And so it became a tourist attraction. You go there, and it's been preserved like it was from the 1920s. So you've got this 1920 style hotel right there at the train station, and you can walk around in the train cars as they were in the 1920s. You can walk over to their big bathhouse, and they have a big 1920s era swimming pool and all this stuff. It's neat to walk through it. It's cool. Used to, they had a thing where you could spend the night in one of the train cars. I don't know if they still do that now, but. Who's better, John Carpenter or Wes Craven? I liked Carpenter better up until the last couple of movies he made. I think Vampires was the last good movie he did. Should Drake's daughter? No. God, no. I would prefer they just not make another one. I would have preferred if for them to go in the direction they did, if they were going to make another one, let it be Sully and his brother. Let it be Sully and his brother. I don't want to play as his daughter, because that's just going to be it's going to be more Tomb Raider. Who wants that? No, thank you. No, thank you, guys. No, thank you. We'll keep the questions coming, folks. Do you think Ghost of Tsushima's platforming is based on Uncharted? Not really. No. There's a lot of examples of that style of platforming in Sucker Punch's own history that they don't have to draw from anything that Naughty Dog did. I'm not an oxymoron. I'm on oxy, you moron. Okay. That's less of a joke and more of a play on words. Joke has to have a punchline. A setup and a punchline. What we got going here? Well, okay. Hello, video game lover. Favorite Batman villain besides the Joker? I don't know really. Probably Bane. Why don't I like the Purge films? Because I think they're stupid. They're dumb. And they're boring. I think the worst film I got genuinely bored and almost walked out of was the 2014 film The Signal, starring Lawrence Fishburne. It was confusing as hell and left me with more questions than answers. Night Swim was super boring. Hey, Seventh, what are your pronouns? His Royal Seventhness. Seventh, what are your opinions on the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows? I don't have any interest in playing it. What's the worst first-party game from each of the big three? Dreams, Halo 5, and Metroid Other M. Even though technically that was second party. Have I ever met George Lucas? No, never met George Lucas. Was the PS4 Pro a mistake keeping people from upgrading to PS5? No, because the Pro came out 4 years before the PS5 did. It had its time. I'm straight. I don't celebrate Pride Month, my friend. If you were invited to go to the Southeast Game Exchange, would you go? I would go as a guest, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford to go. You know, if they wanted me to sit and give a panel or do 7thCast live or something like that, I would do that. Schedule some time off, go over there, come back. I wouldn't be able to afford to do it on my own dime. Hey, Seventh, Pinhead versus Art the Clown. Pinhead would mop the floor with Art the Clown. I'm sorry. I like Art the Clown, but he would not survive that encounter. If you had unlimited funds, what would you buy first or love to have besides the old Robin Medley? The $6,000 arcade cabinet that I want. If I had unlimited funds, I would have bought an even bigger house than this one. This one's 2,300 square feet. I would have bought 4,000 square feet if I had unlimited funds. It's not for me, Alien Magi, because I don't take pride in my sexual orientation. I don't predicate who I am on where I like to put my penis. That's like the tiniest little part of who is Seventh. I don't take pride in it, hence I don't celebrate Pride Week or Pride Day or Pride Month or Pride whatever you want. Because that part of me is not something that I'm either proud nor ashamed of. It just is. Moving on. What happened to Black Bond? Black Bond is still doing the Weapon Wheel podcast. If Bane was a wrestler, could he beat Kane? I would think so, yes. What was the dumbest house I've visited? I don't know that I've ever been to a dumb house. Crappy house maybe, but I don't know that I've been to a dumb house. Can houses be dumb? Yes, I remember Next Gen 720. I don't remember, however, his $12,000 PC because it didn't exist, so there's nothing for me to remember. Yeah, I don't know why the next Arkham game would be VR either. I mean, they played around with it on the PSVR 1, but, it was more of an experience than a legitimate game. Ever played MGS Peace Walker? Yeah, but again, stealth action. Don't care. That well, that's a crazy house, not a dumb house. Darkstar. I've been to some crazy houses, but I haven't been to any that I would say, man, that house was dumb. Maybe Jay from Game Chasers. Maybe he's been to a house that he walked out of it and was like, dumb. Yes, I remember Magneto 39. Alien, have you not watched the Trey for Life series? Did you not watch the documentary series I did last year? It has all the people in it that you're talking about. Do I believe in the Tim Dog curse? No. But I don't believe in Tim Dog either, so I mean... Thoughts on Godzilla -1 and Godzilla vs. Kong 2? I've only seen half of Godzilla vs. Kong 2 because me and 8th picked it up on Amazon Prime, started to watch it, and about a third of the way or halfway through it, the audio went bad to where you couldn't hear any of the dialogue. The dialogue was gone. And so I refunded my money, and I haven't bothered to try to watch the rest of it. Jack Move Johnny and I follow each other on Twitter, so I see him all the time. I haven't visited your channel in nearly 15 years. Well, I know that ain't true, Alien, because you used to troll me on the 7thCast just a few years ago. So it's been more recent than 15 years ago. Plus, we haven't hit the 15-year mark yet, not until July. I sometimes wonder what happened to Truth Setting You Free or Truth Be Told. He got out of the whole game. At one point, he agreed to be interviewed for kind of a after Trey for Life thing, but I think he actually went and watched some of the episodes of it, and he stopped replying to me on PSN. So I think I might have pissed him off when he realized that I was kind of setting him up to be the villain of the whole thing. Which, I mean, in a way he was, but and I explained that he eventually got out of YouTube and was just moving on with his career and had his kid and everything. But the last time I saw anything video-wise from him is he actually showed up on an episode of America's Funniest Home Videos like several years back where they were surprising their little boy with a trip to Disney World. And so they got him in the car and they were like, hey, whatever his kid's name is, guess where we're going? We're going to Disney World. And the kid broke into tears like, I don't want to go to Disney World. and that made it onto America's Funniest Home Videos. Thoughts on the Batman Telltale series? I've never been big into the Telltale games because to me they're just choose your own adventure books. There's no gameplay there. I'm going to see Borderlands out of my respect for the games. What movie coming out soon are you hyped for? I don't care about anything except Deadpool, pretty much. There's nothing else coming out that I can think of off the top of my head for the summer that interests me at all. Ladder match or Hell in the Cell? Hell in the Cell. Of course I remember Fat Gamer. What have you been playing? The remake of System Shock. There's a new retro style action platformer that I want to get, and I can't remember the name of it now. I added it to my wish list, but I can't remember what it's called. But it almost has a Blaster Master feel to it because you're in this kind of suit of armor mech thing, and you can get out of the suit of armor, and then you're a littler person. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's been advertised on my feed quite a bit, and I can't remember the name of it. It just hit PSN. In fact, it's like $20, but I haven't bought it because, of course, trying to save up for the last 2 shelves that I need. So I'm not really buying games now, not even little $20 ones, and I can't find it. What was the name of that thing? It looked really, really cool. From a retro perspective, it looked like it was right up my alley as far as the kind of stuff that I'd like to play, and I added it to my PSN wish list because I kept getting advertisements for it on my Twitter feed, and now all of a sudden I don't have any advertisements for it on my Twitter feed. And I'm guessing that you guys don't know what game I'm talking about. How much sack full of... Kiss my ass, High for Life. What's better, God of War or Bayonetta? God of War. I don't like Bayonetta all that much. Did you like the Mario movie? It was okay. Was that kid more of a Universal Park kind of kid? I don't know. Which film was worse, Dumb and Dumberer or Dumb and Dumber 2? Dumb and Dumberer. It's a shame we never got a good... Yeah, we never did. Where... Come on. I know for a fact that I was getting advertisements for that game for like the last 3 days straight, and now, all of a sudden, it's not in my feed anymore. What is up with that? It's going to drive me nuts that I can't think of the name of that stupid game. It irritates me. I'm old, I can't remember. Come on. Is anybody logged into PSN right now that can go to the store, go to new games? Because it's in the recently added section. And I was going to recommend it to everybody because even though I haven't played it yet, I've watched gameplay of people playing it, and it looketh cool. When's the next visit to Retropalooza? Well, the next Retropalooza is in October, but I'm not going to have the money to go because, spent $300,000 on a new house. So I don't have the money to pay for the hotel and everything. I'm not popular enough to get paid to be there like Boogie. or some of the other celebrities that attend. I don't have that kind of pull. So I don't get paid to be there. It's all on my own dime, and right now I don't have a dime, so I won't be attending this year. It sucks. I want to see my friends, but I can't afford it. Because I have the time off. I have the time off because I requested it. I request all my time off in January of every year. So, there's no disputes with anyone else that might want the time. I put mine in first week of January every year. But, of course, in January, I didn't know that I was going to have to buy a house. I found that out March 1st. And so I didn't cancel the time off, but I'm not going to have the money to go. Because I always spend about $2,000 when I go to one of those. With some of that being, hotel, gas, and food. And I just don't have the money for it. Jay comped me a hotel room one time, and I'm not going to ask him to do that again. I'm not going to ask him to do that again, because I don't make him any money being there. I don't have a table. I'm not selling anything. Nobody's going to be paying me. He's not going to be able to put my name on a poster and people say, oh, now I really want to come to Retropalooza, because I'm not known in the retro community. I'm known in the remnants of the console war community. I'm known in the Crumb side, and the Crumb side doesn't make him any money. That's just the way it is. And I am not finding that stupid game. Has 8th been trying out the bar in the garage? No. Favorite part of the WWE Attitude Era? Stone Cold. What's the starting letter to this mysterious game? I can't remember. It's a side-scrolling 8 to 16-bit looking retro game where you're in a suit of armor beating up bad guys, and you can jump out of the suit of armor, and you're a smaller character. And I've watched gameplay of it. I watched the trailer for it. I added it to my list, but of course I'm not signed into it because I'm streaming right now. I wanted to recommend it to you guys, but all of a sudden, after having it advertised to me for 3 days straight, now all of a sudden, found it. It's called Panzer Paladin. Panzer Paladin. It's $20. It's on PSN, Switch, and Xbox Series X. I'm pretty sure it's on Steam as well. Go watch the video of that thing, and you'll know exactly why I want it. I just don't have $20 to play it. I don't have $20. I've got shelves to buy. So, again, I appreciate anyone that donates, but your donations are going to go for more shelf space over there, because I'm going to need all the shelf space I can get. My battery is running low. I got to dip. Bye. What's the worst Call of Duty campaign in your opinion? All of them. I hate that series. I have no love for it at all. Your last stream, you were talking about finding a local New York City-style pizzeria. Have you found one? Yes, but we haven't gone there yet. You deserve to be more popular. You're a cool guy and fun. Well, I used to be more popular. I mean, my videos used to get, up over 100,000 views at one point. At one point, I had over 20,000 subscribers, and I was shooting up. And then all of a sudden my traffic just died and it never recovered. Don't really know why. It's just happened. Right around when the whole adpocalypse took place. But yeah, Panzer Paladin. Give a look. I think it looks cool. I want to play it. Are you a fan of any mixed drink? My favorite mixed drink was the Four Horsemen. Back when I still imbibed, that is. Besides ActRaiser 2, what game series had a horrible sequel that ruined the story for you? I don't know, man. ActRaiser 2 is probably my biggest example of a sequel ruining a series. I've really hated ActRaiser 2. That game was terrible because they took out half of what they took out everything that made it fun, because the platforming action wasn't as fun as the original. It didn't feel like the original, and they took out the whole city building part of it altogether. I don't know what the whole point of that game was. They took out literally everything that made the first one good. So for me, I guess another example would be Alundra 2. Alundra 2 is a piece of crap. Alundra 2 sucks. Yeah, Panzer Paladin. If you've got a Switch, if you've got an Xbox, PS5, Steam account, it's on all of them. If you like that 8/16-bit style, go check it out. Kind of looks like a cross between Metal Storm and Blaster Master. It's really neat looking. I really want to try it, but I'm conserving funds for getting this game room the way that I want it to be. And I've got so many games to play already. I'll never forgive WWE for burying Sting to Triple H at WrestleMania and having him lose to Seth Rollins. At least AEW gave him the respect he deserved. True. You know, WWE just kind of used him, really. And I don't know how much he realizes that, but it's true. They just kind of took advantage of him. It just basically used him as enhancement talent. I have Panzer Paladin, but I haven't had the chance to play it, though. Cool. I neither have it nor have had the chance to play it. Another thing about quitting vaping, my sinuses are all messed up. When I was vaping, I didn't catch colds, I didn't get sinus infections, allergies didn't bother me. Ever since I quit vaping, my nose has been stopped up. That's kind of irritating. Have you played any real-time strategy games? I've played a few, I played StarCraft back in the day, Dune 2, Command & Conquer. Just finished Rise of the Ronin. I think it's going to go down as the most underrated game on PS5. I know 8th likes it, but it took him a while to like it. He didn't like it at first. Did you get your chair from Amazon? Yes. Was Flow Notion a good addition to the Kingdom Hearts? What the hell is Flow Notion? It's crazy how stopping an addicting thing messes with your... Yeah, I know. Have you ever played any tabletop? Yes. I used to be big into Magic the Gathering. Have you not been watching me all these years, Dark Star? I've had an indie video game idea called RPG the RPG about a hero going on adventurous quest, gaining more powerful rocket power grenade launchers along the way. I can't remember the name of it, but there's something very similar to that already that I've played. I just can't remember the name of it now. It was an indie game. Oh, by the way. 2 hours remaining. There have been $15 in donations. We are 235 away from the new shelf goal. What kind of magic are you gathering? My magic power kind. I had pizza for lunch. I'm brewing it up as we speak. 7th, did you like Squid Game? Not especially. Did you watch the new House of the Dragon episode? Yeah, I'm not feeling it, man. Because in the time since the first season happened, I had forgotten most of the plot. So when I watched the new episode, I had no idea what was going on. You know, you've got a redheaded woman who has Targaryen-looking kids and Targaryen women that have normal-looking kids because everybody has been humping everybody else. And so I've completely lost scope of who is who and whose kid is whose kid and who's screwing who. And I just don't care, and I'm not going to watch it anymore. If the first season sucks, the rest of the show sucks. Do you? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Have you ever played any of the Katamari games? Yeah, I'm not a fan. Flow motion. It let you jump from wall to wall. Okay. I don't know. That really made it any better or worse. I think the main thing is that, now that I've endured the original Game of Thrones and all 8 seasons of it, I don't really care what happened to get up to that point, I don't care about the prequel. I don't care what happened before. Do you think it is stupid for someone to say Barack Obama? Yes. Did you watch The Last of Us TV show? I watched one episode of it, and then I never turned it on again. I mean, think about it. I didn't like the game. Why would I like the show? Shit. Oh, just talk amongst yourselves. Wake me up when you're done. Did I watch Black Sails? No. I started to watch it, and then it got canceled, and I'm like, why am I going to bother to finish this? They're not going to finish the story, so I stopped watching it. Do you plan on doing a new DBTS? Not anytime soon. I got too much going on. I've got other ideas that I want to play around with. DBTS wasn't really doing anything. People weren't really watching it. I tried putting it on its own dedicated channel. That didn't do anything. So, it is what it is. No one likes me anymore. Did you think Last of Us virus possible? No. Not unless somebody tried to create it. And even then, I don't think it would turn out the way the game shows. Don't act all shocked, Shadow Deist. I've been saying for years that I don't like The Last of Us. I've been saying that for over 10 years now. Away from with you and your fake outrage. Is Mad Max 1 a sci-fi? No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't really think any of them are sci-fi. They're just post-apocalyptic. That doesn't make them science fiction. Technically speaking, they could take place in damn near any era after the creation of the internal combustion engine. Black Sails was initially intended to be a much longer series than just 4 seasons. It got canceled because it had shitty ratings, and so they put out a rushed ending for it at the end of their last season. But I know it's not going to be what they intended it to be, and so I don't care to finish it. What adult cartoon did you not enjoy? Duckman or whatever that one was called. The one that dude from Seinfeld did the voice for it. Are we going to get a tour of the new house when the house is ready to be toured? Yes. What can Naughty Dog do to make a comeback? Put out a good game. Is there any show better than The Sopranos, and why not? Well, there's another one that I never really got into. I didn't get into The Sopranos that much. I watched DBTS. I remember the Halo 3 review. Well, I mean, at one point DBTS was my most popular series, but then the apocalypse happened and people stopped watching them. And so then I tried to counteract that by making a DBTS channel, and those were the only videos on that channel. Didn't even get 300 subscribers. So I mean, it was a failed attempt. Well, I liked Breaking Bad. I never really got into Sopranos, Shadow. Have you ever been interested in the story of the Half-Life Portal universe? No, not really. I just joined. New house looking good now. Well, it's not where I want it yet. It's getting there. It's still a little messy. Got a little bit more to do. Was the Star Wars hotel? No. There was no way that was ever going to be successful, even if they had based it on the original trilogy. It was not going to work. Let's see here. Is House of Dragons another one of Martin's works where there's a naked man every few seconds? I haven't noticed that, but I haven't seen, wieners, lots of wieners. I haven't seen that so far. So. Doesn't do anything for me when they do, I'll tell you that much. But brother. Did you watch Loki season 1 and 2? And did you hate it? And are you going to watch season 3? I did watch them. There were some elements of it that I liked, some elements of it that I didn't like. Thank you for another $5, by the way. Thank you, Husky. That puts us up to $20. $20. 230 to go. Thoughts on the Godfather films? They're slow, but they're interesting. Game of Thrones versus Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, not even close. What is your favorite snack? Oatmeal cookies. What's a restaurant you visited that you think sucked? Buca de Bippo. I thought it sucked. I don't like Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box sucks. Del Taco. Del Taco sucks. Didn't like Del Taco. There was plenty of restaurants at Walt Disney World that I didn't care for. One of which being the Coral Reef restaurant at the Living Seas. I didn't care for it. I mean, the decor was nice, but the menu was terrible. Especially for someone who's not into seafood. I mean, they had a steak, but it was a dry. No, I ordered it medium, and it still ended up being this dry, awful steak. Am I the only man that thumped up his live stream? Damn, son. What are you talking about, Eye for Life? What are you talking about? Oh, did you mean thumbed up? Yeah, I never asked people to thumb up my stuff. I never remember to do that. So, hey guys, go thumb up my stream. There. Have you seen Mr. Nanny starring Hulk Hogan? Yes. My favorite part is when he gets electrocuted in the shower. That's the only part of the movie that I like, was when he gets electrocuted in the shower. Have you retired or outgrown any particular genre of video games? Yeah, actually, I used to be into sports games. I liked Joe Montana football and Lakers versus Celtics in the NBA playoffs and baseball stars. And when they started getting too much like a simulation, I lost interest in them, and I haven't been back since. Burger King does suck. Could a Disney hotel succeed if it wasn't... Well, there's lots of Disney hotels that have succeeded. They're all over the Walt Disney World property. I've stayed in most of them. Have a thumbs up on me. Okay. What's the movie you were most hyped for that you paid to see that you regret paying to see? Ghosts of Mars. I cannot overstate how much I was disappointed by that movie. I'll tell you another one I was disappointed by. Never Ending Story 2. I hated that movie. Don't even get me started about the third one, but at least with the third one, I didn't go see that at the theater. I saw Never Ending Story 2 at the theater. I mean, for one thing, they waited too long to make it. I was like a teenager with a car by the time that movie came out. I drove myself. I paid for the gas to drive there. I paid for the ticket. I sat down and watched it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Where are the original actors? How about 7, 8, and 9? Well, actually, I kind of liked 7. But 8 and 9 were both terrible. 7 just felt like a remake of 4. So I was okay with it. Because I thought that the direction they were going in is that both Rey and Finn were going to end up being Jedi. That's the direction I thought it was going. But that's not the direction it went. And I thought that, one of them would get pulled to the dark side, and so it would have to be them fighting with Kylo Ren manipulating the whole thing behind the scenes. That's what I thought we were going to get, but it's not. I think I asked last 7thCast, but you missed it. Do you have any recommendations for Vita RPGs that can be played standalone and still be enjoyed? I have Tales of Hearts R already. Then you've pretty much got it. There are other RPGs, but they're all sequels to other stuff, like Neptunia games where, all the characters represent consoles in the console war. There's several of those on there. But as far as like just a really good traditional Japanese RPG, Tales of Hearts R is pretty much it. Are the Disney cruises any good? Never been on one. Have you ever encountered the YouTube glitch where you're on a certain video that showed a comment section belonging to a different video? No, I haven't run into that before. You only liked episode 7 because it's the 7th. Nah. It's not it at all. Thoughts on the finger poke of doom from WCW? It was a stupid idea. Iced oatmeal or plain? Iced. It's pretty much the only sweet I allow myself these days. So that when I'm craving something sugary, I'll just get me a little iced oatmeal cookie. No more candy bars or big bowls of ice cream or any of that. I had an opportunity to have ice cream today, but I didn't take it. The theater that we go to has an actual 50 style ice cream parlor, a soda fountain type thing. And could have had me a float, a root beer float or a milkshake or what have you, but didn't do it. We just left. Have you seen the new layout for YouTube that they're slowly rolling out? It's horrible. No, I haven't seen that. Have not seen it, folks. Have not seen it. No, I have not. The Star Wars Acolyte series has been getting absolutely destroyed online. Yeah, I watched some of it. It's really dumb. It's really dumb and nonsensical. And, I could be wrong, but it seems like her little partner in crime that's been helping her out is the actual Dark Jedi that's been training her. And that's what it seems like to me. I feel like that's the big shock reveal that they're going for. But maybe it's not. Maybe they're setting that up as a red herring and it's actually going to be somebody else. But that seems to be where they're trying to go with it. But even outside of that, there's just really dumb decisions. Like, they made such a big deal out of having a Wookiee Jedi in there. And do you get to see the Wookiee Jedi fight with a lightsaber? No. You get to see him growl at somebody and force pull their gun away. Then you get to see him making himself dinner, and then he's sitting there dead of a lightsaber wound. What the hell was that? Such a waste. Such a waste. It shows that they have no idea what they're doing. What's your favorite, best impressions that you can do? I'm not good at impressions. My favorite impression that I could do was the loading recording for the original loading recording on the Thunder Mountain at Disney World. Don't let Richard know. What are you talking about? Hi-fi. What are you going on about? Is a second gaming crash possible? Absolutely. We're kind of in the middle of one now. It's just not going to turn out the way the last one did. Best straight to DVD? I don't know, man. I don't watch that many straight to DVD movies. I wouldn't say it's best, but one of the ones I liked was the live action attempt at Fist of the North Star. The movie cracks me up. Yes, Star Wars is pretty dead. Do you think Star Wars Outlaws will be any good? I don't know, man. It feels kind of Uncharted-ish to me. We'll see. I don't have any high hopes. Did you talk about the Nickelodeon scandal? Not really, because all of that happened years after I got out of being interested in Nickelodeon. I mean, when I was watching Nickelodeon, it was all Double Dare. You can't do that on television. The Third Eye, and Danger Mouse. And those were the only things that you watched on Nickelodeon. No, I can't do El Presidor. My voice isn't built to do El Presidor's voice. Questions are drying up. We still got another hour and a half left, gentlemen. Come on, meow. Well, you know, like I said, I'm almost 50, so yeah, I'm going to remember Danger Mouse. Alien, trust me, I've never been able to do an El Presidor impression. Even when I did the 12 days of Crumbsmas, I couldn't do El Presidor. So why didn't you like the Lord of the Rings TV series? Because it wasn't good. And it didn't follow the lore. Richard was the guy who donated $100 and said he was in a Twitter war with you last stream via hate watching. My bad, I just have a good... I don't remember him as Richard. I remember him as Neon something or other. He obviously isn't showing up tonight, so... Did I ever have America Online? Yes. Yes. I did technical support for America Online back in the day, too. Yep. It sucked. It was... Their technical support was designed so that people that don't know anything about computers could do technical support for America Online. It was awful. Is Sony in trouble? No. Is Xbox making a comeback? Not in the way that fans want them to. I was late, so you probably already answered this, but thoughts on the Nintendo Direct? I didn't watch it. I paid attention to some other people's reactions to it, but I didn't watch it myself. Was definitely Richard that donated $100, but he's one of several people that have donated $100 to me over the years. But yeah, he was the most recent one to do so. And I thanked him for it. Wish I got paid millions to write Sonic Shoe levels of writing. I know, right? No, I never worked for Geek Squad. I don't mess with Linux that much because there's too many software applications that I use that either don't run in it at all or don't run in it well using a Windows shell. I just don't fool with it. Eighth played around with Linux a little bit, and he went back to Windows for the same reason. Seventh, why were you fired from Disney? Well, in 2004, my dad died, and I took some time off to attend to his, taking care of him, getting him cremated and all that stuff. And I had also been sick with the flu, and my son had been in the hospital at the time that my dad died. He had rotavirus. So I had those three things that had caused me to lose a lot of time at work. But I was still within my limits. And then in April of that year, Disney changed their attendance policies to this combined 48-hour bank where both your paid vacation time and your sick time came out of a single 48-hour bank. They were no longer separated. And they retroactively set it active as of January 1st, and that automatically put me over on the 48-hour bank, and they fired me for attendance. And that's how I lost my job at Disney. What's your opinion on anime? I like it. And people who watch anime. That's me. I have a very high opinion of myself. Phil Spencer did an IGN interview a day or two after the showcase and said Xbox games will be on other platforms. Yeah, I'm aware. What are the dumbest fads you've seen over the years? I've seen a lot. Remember, I grew up in the 80s. I've seen a lot of dumb fads. Like jelly bracelets. Remember those? I mean, those were gender neutral, man. Everybody wore those. I wore those. You know, you'd put a couple around your wrist, and then you'd wrap one and you'd tie it around your finger, and you'd make it look like you had little rubber gauntlets on. They were stupid as hell. Yes, I have a GameCube. Yeah, the clown sighting thing was stupid. Geek Squad is expensive. Never worked for them. Sorry I asked. Well, I mean, it is what it is, man. You did ask. Do you find anything wrong with being a weebo or a weeb? Knock yourself out. I wouldn't do it. I like anime. That doesn't mean that I want to pretend to be an anime character. That doesn't mean that I want to pretend that I'm Japanese. I just like to watch the occasional anime, and not all of them. I tend to like the gorier stuff like Berserk and whatnot. But what's your opinion on furries and people who draw furry art? I don't really have anything to say about it. Personally, I think it's dumb, okay? Especially the ones that actually think that they're, I'm really a wolf on the inside and all that. No, you're really a person who has a mental disorder. But if you want to walk around, in a mascot costume, more power to you. Would you still want to work with Disney? No, not at all. You ever watch Steve Will? No, don't know who that is. Any discontinued drinks or snacks you wish would come back? Jolt Cola. Although I think you can still get Jolt somewhere. I've seen bottles of it on videos. As for discontinued snacks, Burger King used to make their version of Crystals. There were these little sliders that you get in 3 or 6 packs. I used to like those. I guess that counts as something. I did not drink Ecto Cooler, by the way. I was kind of when those came out, I was past the age of buying little drink boxes. I was already past that point, so I didn't get into the whole Ecto Cooler thing. Ever thought about becoming a hell no. Look at me. Look at me and listen to my voice. Do I look or sound like a VTuber? No. Is Texas more of the Southwest or the South? I think it's south, but most people consider it part of the Midwest, like Oklahoma. First anime I saw were episodes of Gigantor on the local UHF station when I was a kid. Candy crystals on a stick. You can still get those. Called rock candy. You can buy them at places at dedicated candy stores. If you go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, pretty much every candy store sells rock candy. You can get them on. You can get them in Tennessee at gift shops for tourist places. Like if you go to Rock City, Ruby Falls, any of those, they're going to have Tennessee rock candy on a stick. What was your favorite soda when you drank soda? Usually root beer or Dr. Pepper. And as far as Coke, I actually prefer Pepsi. I'm not going to change my look and transform myself into a cute anime girl to get 100,000 views. I don't need this for a living. I have an actual career. I do this for fun. And for you guys to occasionally, toss me a couple of bucks so I can improve the show. That's pretty much it. I never went into this trying to make a career out of it. I went into this to troll Xbox fanboys. Oh, Florida is south. It's the deep south. Do you have a favorite Kevin Smith movie? Clerks 2. Rosario Dawson as Becky. She was like, she, best girlfriend material right there. Rosario Dawson as Becky. That's the only reason that movie's good. It's called her. Is there anything you ever took for granted in life that you wish you hadn't? The life expectancy of everyone around me? Well, look what the cat dropped in. Where have you been? Moving to a new house. Tennessee is the South. It's not the Midwest. Tennessee's East Coast. What's the matter with you? It's to the left of It's to the left of North Carolina. What's the matter with you? Too many people fail in their geography classes. How is General MLD doing? I still see him every now and again posting on Twitter. That's about it. He don't post videos anymore. And nowadays, even if I reply to him, he barely replies. He's just kind of gone all in on Twitter trolling, I guess you could say. Seventh, did 8th ever upgrade to that rate? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And so now I am rocking his old 3080 in my PC. Have you been to Torchy's Tacos? I have had Torchy's Tacos. They used to order their breakfast tacos for us when I was still working in the office, because they weren't too far from the office that I was working out of. There was a Torchy's Taco a few miles from where my office was at the time. Seventh, Dementor versus Nazgul. Nazgul would kill it easily. Tennessee is the South. All South, except for that one. Okay. I believe that's the one he got hi-fi. No, I don't watch The View. What's the matter with you? I don't remember what one he got. He got the most powerful, I think the most powerful one they had out at the time. I don't know which one. I don't remember High for Life. High Five for Life. Don't recall. No, I've never been to Europe. What are you doing now for work? Now, it's the same job that I've had for 12 years. It's just I do it from home now. I don't have to attend an office anymore. Why don't I watch The View? Because I'm not a Democratic woman? I'm not a Republican either, but, I'm definitely not a Democratic woman. 8th hasn't had any problems with the AMD card that he went with. I don't know which one he went with, but he hasn't had any problems. Any movie recommendations for the week, 7th? I haven't really been watching any new ones lately. I've just been watching old ones. Like, I picked up a Blu-ray of an old one that I really liked from back in the late 80s, early 90s. It's called Dark Angel, but here in the States, it was called I Come in Peace. It's an old Dolph Lundgren movie. And Dolph Lundgren, it's kind of a buddy cop, is the grizzled, doesn't follow the rules type of Mel Gibson-ish cop, and his partner is a by-the-book FBI agent, and they're hunting down a drug dealer from outer space who sucks chemicals out of people's brains and sells them as drugs across the galaxy. And, it's cheesy, but it's a lot of fun. I really like that movie. And I found it on Blu-ray, and so I picked it up. In Lord of the Rings, did you ever get tired of how pussified they made Frodo? I didn't really care. I liked the movies. I read the books too, but, And I've listened to the original BBC radio play. Yes, Dolph was Ivan Drago. He was also He-Man. Is the Blues Brothers movie any good? First one is. Blues Brothers 2000 is garbage. Avoid it like the plague. Don't bother. Do not bother. Blues Brothers 2000 is a movie that never should have been made because John Belushi was dead. Hey, 7th, He-Man is very Heracles. Okay. He's also very Conan. In fact, he was inspired by Conan. He was meant to be a G-rated Conan. Well, that makes one of us, QB. I did not like Blues Brothers 2000. I like to watch bad movies sometimes, and I've discovered there is funny bad and boring bad, but also serious bad, which is probably the worst of the three, the Room movie being the hilarious one. Yeah. A good example of boring bad would be The English Patient. Oh, Jesus, I hate that movie. Is the radio play Shire ending better than... I don't remember. I listened to it when I was a road tech. Back then I had to do a lot of driving from state to state, and so I would listen to books on tape. I meant He-Man versus Heracles. I don't know that they've ever really given us a very good indication of exactly how powerful He-Man is, so I don't know how well he would fare in that. Nor do I care, because I don't really give a shit about Greek mythology. The Devil Inside versus The Exorcist. The Exorcist, The Devil Inside sucked. You had to go to a website to see how it ended. Did you watch As Above, So Below? Yes, 8th really likes that movie. He's big on found footage films, and that was one of his favorites. I mean, personally, I liked Jerusalem better, but they're both good. Did you ever watch the See No Evil movies? The only See No Evil movie that I know anything about is that movie that had Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor in it, where one of them was deaf and one of them was blind. Would you agree that Lawrence of Arabia and 2001 are the best movies of all time? They're good, but I don't know that they're the best movies ever made. I mean, 2001's kind of boring, really. Tell me you liked Hereditary. I liked parts of Hereditary. Ever watched Cheaters with Joey? No. Lots of movie questions this weekend. See No Evil with Ken? No, I never watched that. I just assumed it was going to be crap, and I didn't watch it. What sort of found footage is 8th into? Has he seen the Backroom series? I assume that he has. He likes As Above, So Below. He liked Jerusalem. He liked Afflicted. He liked The Taking of Deborah Logan. That's one he recommends to a lot of people. Would you agree that Mad Max Fury Road is the best movie? No. It's a very good movie, but again, I wouldn't say it's the best movie of all time, because there cannot be an objective best movie of all time, because it depends on what you are into. All you can have is your own personal best movie of all time. Did you watch The Vigil? I don't know that I have. I don't know. It's not ringing a bell. Do you think the best movies and games have already been made? Well, until something comes out that's better. Try watching See No Evil with Kane on Tubi. I'll see about it. I have a barometer for Lego games. If a Lego game is better than the regular game, then that regular game is crap. What do you think? Probably true. Probably true. Man, I'm going to have to take a Claritin or something. Not having vape anymore is just tearing my sinuses up. My nose is just packed right now. I don't know if it's making my voice sound any different, but shit. What about Grave Encounters? First one was good, second one was garbage. I like Chronicle, but 8th seems to not like that one as much as I do. Look it up, my friend. The Vigil. I might have seen it and I just don't recognize the title. Let me go look it up. Hold on. The Vigil. 2019 film. Oh, is that the one with the Jewish guy that has to stay with the dead body? Yeah, I've seen that. It was okay. Yeah, I like the original Cloverfield. The rest of them, not so much. 7th, do you think Trump is going to jail? I doubt it. I doubt it. He's probably just counting on winning the election so he can pardon himself or have someone in the Supreme Court do it for him. You know, they'll keep it wrapped up in court to where he never does any time over it, especially if he gets elected. But I don't really care one way or the other. I don't think anything about him. I don't think anything about Biden. I'm not voting. I don't vote because I don't care. You know, no matter who you try to vote in, you're going to be voting in someone who's too old and too corrupt. It doesn't matter. So I don't bother. From the time that I reached voting age, there has not been a candidate that has inspired me enough to drive over and put my signature on anything. None. None of them. And that's another reason why I just don't get into politics on my stream. So, you know, thanks for once again ignoring me on not bringing up political stuff. Of course, it's Shadowhood, so what do you expect? He's a fail troll. He thinks I forget, but I don't. Since Castlevania is rumored to be getting more entries, would you prefer that it plays like Lord of Shadows or more like Symphony of the Night? No, I did not like Cloverfield Lane. Because it wasn't originally intended to be a Cloverfield movie. It was a so-so movie that, J.J. Abrams decided to make it into a Cloverfield movie by injecting a couple of extra scenes into it, thinking that it would actually make money if people thought it was a Cloverfield movie. And they did the same thing with the third one. Neither of those movies were originally made to be Cloverfield movies. That's why they suck. No, I don't talk politics at work. You got a good memory. I can't believe you remembered me from years ago. Well, yeah, you used to troll me in the chat. There was you, and then there was the kid, or maybe you were the kid, and I'm thinking it's two different people, but it's not. But there was a kid who thought that I was in league with Satan, and that I had like dark mystical powers and shit, or at least they wanted me to think that they believed that about me. What's your best horror film of the last decade? I don't know, man, because horror movies don't scare me anymore. I couldn't tell you the last time that I got scared by a horror movie, or even made to feel uneasy. I think I've just been too desensitized to it. What was I talking about with politics? You asked me about Trump. Prior to that, what was I talking about with politics? Get the hell out of there with that shit. You're not going to get me riled up. I already know how you operate, Shadow. Quit while you're behind. Yeah, I don't remember who it was either, Alien, but it was going on around the same time that you were trolling me back in the day, and I want to say he was from Sweden or somewhere Amsterdam or somewhere over there, and he claimed that he had just really convinced himself that he had found all these little hidden things in my videos that meant that I was like in league with the devil and that I was like, you know, a warlock and all this stuff. I remember you from Game Chasers. That was a good episode. You're a really funny dude. Yeah, these guys that I'm talking to now, they've been, this was from like 2009, way before I ever, before the Game Chasers were even on YouTube. I've been around a long time, man. I'm old as shit. What's your favorite horror movies ever if it's top 5? I have no idea. Man. I haven't really been watching that many horror movies lately simply because they're just not very good anymore. Most horror movies don't have balls anymore. Yeah, there was people that thought that I was a cult leader. They thought that I was turning the Trey Brotherhood into a cult. Of course, they accused El Presidor of the same thing. That he was a cult leader. Uh-oh. 1 hour remaining. We've been streaming for 1 hour. We've had $20 in donations. Meanwhile, the YouTube drama addicts over there, they're getting $1,500 in donations by pretending to be angry at each other. Whatever, man. Whatever. It's like for a lot of you guys, not you guys that watch me, but for a lot of you guys that are on that watch live streamers, the live streaming is like your you know how your grandmother would say, like, I gotta watch my stories. They're soap operas. That's what this shit is for you guys now, for a lot of you. And you're willing to pump out $1,500-$1,600 a show to watch guys like Review Tech or Jay or what have you. It's hilarious to me. It's hilarious. I would never expect that kind of money. Even if I was beefing with somebody. That's so weird to me. The whole concept of it is just bizarre. What's your ratio between video games, movies, and other forms of entertainment? Lately, I haven't been that motivated to play. I've been kind of burnt out because of everything that I've gone through to get here. And so I've mainly just been watching stuff more than, playing. And even then, not new stuff. Like, I just recently discovered that an old movie that I used to watch when I was a kid is available now on Amazon Prime for $10. And it's an old John Ritter movie called Hero at Large. And it's about an actor who gets a job showing up at public events dressed as this popular superhero. And one night he thwarts a robbery at a convenience store when he happens to be dressed as the character. And so he becomes this cult hero around town, and he starts to buy into his own hype, and he starts really like trying to be the superhero and saving people and stuff. And it's not that it's like this hilarious comedy. It's just more of a nostalgia thing because I watched it so many times when I was a kid. And I wanted to buy it, but I didn't want to spend the $10 on it. So, right now I'm really focused on new shelves. And until my car gets paid off in October, I just don't really have the money for buying up much of anything else. I got the curtains, and that's been about it. I mean, we didn't even initially want curtains. We wanted remote-controlled blinds. Those were going to be super expensive, and that's what we wanted was remote-controlled blackout blinds. And, eventually me and Eighth decided that, we would just go cheap and get curtains and curtain rods instead. Because we were getting, we were tired. There was too much light getting in here. That window is 7 feet by 7 feet. There's a ton of sunlight that comes in through that window. I need this before I rest, lol. You just want a good horror movie to watch? I could recommend 10 things. And what guarantee would I have that you've seen any of them? or, that you haven't already seen any of them. If you like found footage ones, go watch that one Afflicted. It seems like everyone that I mentioned that one to hasn't seen it, so go watch Afflicted. If you haven't seen Jerusalem, go watch Jerusalem. That's a good one. First you were accused of being in a biker gang, yep. Then you were accused of being, yep. And now cult leader, yep. I've had a lot of haters. That's true. Yep. Once they started trying to get all the underage teeny boppers in there by making all the horror movies PG-13, it's gone downhill. And I'll tell you where that started. It started with Scream. That's really what butchered horror for a long time, was the success of Scream. Like my new, it's too small for me to tell what it is, and I'm not going to bother with clicking on it to see anything bigger. Review Tech, yeah, Review Tech always says that he's retired, and then he'll start up another beef with somebody. I don't know what's going on with him. He didn't used to be like that. I don't know what's going on with him. Blackbuster's been gone for a long time. He had a kid, and that was pretty much it. My opinion of 8-Bit Eric hasn't been lowered. Eric is just doing what Eric does. It's not any different than he was when I met him. That's just one of the things that he does. It's Jerusalem with a Z, not an S. If you don't spell it that way, you won't find it. Shokio streams on Twitch. I guess Shokio doesn't live in the same house as his brother anymore. I don't know. I've had both of them tell me that they were going to meet up with me at Retropalooza, and neither of them showed up. So I don't know what it is. Guys from the Trey Brotherhood era, that are close enough to where they could come hang out at Retropalooza, they'll say, yeah, I'm going to be there, and they don't show up. General G did me the same way. He was supposed to show up at one of the ones in Houston, and he ended up getting too drunk and hung over the next day, and he didn't show up. Magic powers. Do you think Valve will ever release Half-Life 3? I'm kind of doubting it. Has there ever been a series that ended so perfectly that you were annoyed that a sequel got announced? Yeah, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Why are they making a movie about Gollum for? Who needs a movie about Gollum? Who? They already made a game about him, and we saw how well that turned out. Hi-Fi tipped another $10. Thank you. To the shelf. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That puts us up to $30. So now we're 210 away from the goal. 210 for 2 new sets of shelves. Thank you so much. Alpha Omega Sin used to go... Alpha Omega Sin used to be at Retropalooza. But, he kind of retired from YouTube and stopped coming. He... became more concerned with his family and his career. Have you ever missed something due to being drunk? No. If I got drunk and I had obligations the next day, whatever it was, I sucked it up and I showed up. I sucked it up and I showed up. Got to have priorities, folks. You got to have priorities. And eventually, I was like, why am I wasting money on this? And I just stopped drinking. I didn't give a crap about it anymore. Why can't Gabe Newell count to 3? No idea. What's your favorite place to eat around your area? I haven't had a chance to really explore here because, so many of the places around here were temporarily closed down from the tornado damage. So, I haven't really had a chance to try out any of the sit-down restaurants in the area. I've only been able to do, fast food stuff. Although the food at the theater that we went to today, the Grand in Belton, they have pretty good food. It's at least as good a quality as what you'd get at a Chili's or a Applebee's. Are the dwarves the most entertaining group in Lord of the Rings? Well, Gimli was my favorite. The Lord of the Rings series was woke trash. Well, Rings of Power, sure. I don't know about the trilogy. I wish Alpha Omega Sin told us goodbye. Well, he did come back for a few videos, and they weren't getting the views that he was getting originally, and so he just kind of noped back out. I ended up, the very first time that I met him at a Retropalooza, we ended up hanging out together all night long. From 11 o'clock at night to 7:30 the next morning. We did not sleep. And I'm not going to get into what it was, but there was some drama with another YouTuber, and that drama really, really, really pissed Alpha off. And so Alpha just got in a certain way, and I didn't want to leave him by himself in that certain way. And so he just sat with me and Ant Dude, if you guys know who Ant Dude is. He sat with me and Ant Dude all night long, just venting about what had just happened. And and I just kind of hung out and let him bend my ear for several hours. And then at the end of it, we go walking out into the hotel lobby to get breakfast, and he thanked me for hanging out with him all night. And then he was like, I bet I could lift you. And he got behind me and wrapped his little 5'5" arms around me and went, nope, I can't. And so I turned around and I said, yeah, but I can lift you. And I put my arm around him and went, lifted him up. Alpha's cool, man. He's a lot of fun to hang out with, but there's nothing to him. He's built for a person his size, but he's he's a little person. He's not, he comes up to here on me. I think he's 5'4" or something. He's not tall, but he's got muscle definition. He definitely works out. But yeah, spent all night just because he got so angry over what this unmentionable person did. And I was afraid that, if I let him be by himself in the state that he was in, not that he would harm himself, but that, he might get into some kind of trouble, punching a hole in the wall or something like that, that'd get him in trouble with the cops. And so I was, me and Ant Dude didn't want to leave him like that. And so we just sat with him and let him, spew it all out. What were your most shocking death moments in Game of Thrones? I didn't find any of them shocking. There weren't really any surprises for me in that show. What's your favorite dish at Chili's? I like the sliders. Alpha Omega Sin used to steal Review Tech USA topics on videos. It wouldn't surprise me if he did. Has there ever been a remake that was so good that it basically replaced the original to you? The Thing. Why won't you name the guy? Because I don't want to get involved in any drama. And I promised I wouldn't, divulge all the details of it. What happens at Retropalooza stays at Retropalooza. So I'm not going to go into the details of what happened, just that, those are the circumstances around which I met Alpha Omega Sin. That was like 7 years ago. I doubt he even remembers it at this point. Thoughts on the Big Mac? I think it's a lot smaller than it used to be. My memory of the Big Mac is that it was a lot bigger than it is now. I mean, there's a lot of craziness that goes on at Retropalooza in general. And so that's one of the reasons why, when we all go out to, the hangout afterwards, one of their rules is, turn your phones off. Don't bring your phone with you. We don't want to see you filming with your camera because you don't know what's going to happen. There could be just really weird stuff that can go on behind closed doors. And, not anything like super bad, certainly not anything like illegal or anything, just crazy wackiness. Kind of, if you've watched the episode of Game Chasers where they bet 8-Bit Eric a video game to lick on Keep the Joking Gamer's nipples, that kind of stuff, that kind of weirdness, But some of it they deem worthy of filming and putting in an episode, and some of it gets to be so rowdy that no, we're not going to put that in a video, and we don't want anyone to film it either. So, like I said, what happens at Retropalooza stays at Retropalooza unless it's something they want to capitalize on. Like when they were in one of the recent episodes where, they spotted a dildo lying on the street. And some dude came and ran and picked it up before Billy could get out there, and they were making fun of the dude for rescuing a dildo from the road. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here's Richard back again. $50. Thank you, Richard. That puts us up to an even 100 for the evening. So that means 140 left to get the two shelves that I need. 140 to go. I hear you talk about your bad experience going to the movies. I stopped going to the movies a long time ago because it's always a bad time. Now I watch new movies at my own house with my 77-inch LG C1 with hue lights on the back of the TV. I need to replace my TV. It's an Insignia. No, it's a Vizio. It's a Vizio 70-inch, and the little covers over the LCDs blew off, and so everything has kind of a bluer tint than it should, and I've just ignored it for the last several years because I just didn't want to buy a new TV. And so eventually when I have the money, I'm going to replace it with like an LG or a Samsung, something in the $2,000 range. I don't really need to get anything bigger than 70-inch. I certainly wouldn't get any bigger than 80 at the biggest, but I don't really need to. 70 inches, especially as close as my recliners are to the TV, 70 is perfectly fine. If my chairs were all the way up against the wall, then yeah, maybe an 80 or 100-inch, but they're literally like 3 feet away from the TV, so I don't need anything bigger than 70-inch. Rich Richard is back. Yes, he is. And again, we need to give Richard a dollar bill. Here we go, Rich. There's your dollar bill, sir. Of course, once again, Richard, keep in mind, because you're using that that Super Chat link, instead of sending it through Streamlabs, 30% of that is going to go to YouTube, and I'm not going to get it until I reach a certain account size. It's like until there's $100 in there, they don't send it to you. And since they just paid me out the money that I used to buy this chair, it's going to be a while before I get the $35. So, if you plan to donate to me in the future, and it's always appreciated, Richard, but I would strongly suggest that you use the Streamlabs link instead, because I get more of it. I get all of it, but maybe like a $4 processing fee, and I get it right then. It goes straight to my account instead of waiting until I reach a certain account size. So if it's something that you're intending me to have, you use the Streamlabs, I'm getting as close to all of it that you wanted me to have as it gets. I'm just saying. In fact, of all the people that have donated tonight, you're the only one that's used the Super Chat link. Everyone else has used the Streamlabs. They've kind of figured it out at this point. Sorry, 7th, but I only use Super Chat. Take it or leave it. Okay. For some people, that's all they're willing to do, and that's fine. I just try to make everybody aware of the differences between the two. G4 for life is... Richard helped pay for the shelves. Yes, Chris, that's cool. That's cool. We're 140 away now. No, wait. We had 30, and then he paid 50, so that's 80. That's 80. I'm doing my math wrong. For some reason, I thought it had gotten up to an even 100, but no. It was $80 has been donated tonight. So that's 160 left to go. We have 160 left to be able to get the 2 sets of shelves. 160. Opinion on the Hobbit trilogy. 8th likes the Hobbit trilogy more than I do. 8th actually prefers the Hobbit trilogy over the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Not me. I think they had to add too much extra crap to stretch it out to 3 movies. And I just don't think a lot of it works well. I don't like them as well. Thoughts on E3 dying? I haven't really cared about E3 over the last several years. They were doing it anyway. So, I don't really see what the purpose of it still existing is. I don't really see the point. Excuse me. If I ever meet you in real life, you owe me 2 pee-pee touch. Okay. Maybe a yogurt stand, but no pee-pee touch. The Hobbit trilogy or the Star Wars prequels? The Hobbit trilogy. Richard is guttery. What? Does 8th like the prequels, Star Wars? I think he likes Revenge of the Sith. I don't think he likes any of the others either. I think Richard's just happy that I got the reference. Do you think Twilight Princess and Fat Gamer should have hooked? No. And I think you're thinking of Titanfall Princess. I think. Titanfall Princess used to show up in here semi-regularly. She hasn't been in the last several times we stream. Do you like the Saw films? I liked the first one. The fact that that became a series is kind of stupid to me, especially after he died. You know, how many people did he influence to copy him? It starts to get ridiculous. I was watching a review of Spider-Man 2, and the reviewer threw in that clip of you saying, Xbox One is shit, son. Who was that? Who was that? I'd like to know who that was. Titanfall Princess? Yeah. She used to come, like I said, she used to show up here in the streams in the 7thCast quite a bit, but not so much anymore. Magic powers. If my wife wasn't in the way, I would pay you and a bunch of the old Tray for Life guys to do a podcast every week. Your wife's in the way, huh? Well, you know, there is a solution for that. If Vince McMahon ran WCW and Eric Bischoff ran WWE and they had the same rosters, would WCW have won the war? Oh, I don't know about that. Because if Vince McMahon was running WCW, that means he would have had to have dealt with AOL Time Warner and them hamstringing him. So I don't think he would have done any better in that position than Bischoff had. I'll have to look for the review, but it was from some smaller 10,000 sub channel. Huh. Well, you know, I'm glad somebody found a use for it. Yes, I remember Omega User. He still makes music. He just doesn't make Omega Loser music. Well, actually, I think he made one not too long ago as Omega Loser. So he's still kind of around, but he mostly just uses his other musical moniker instead of Omega Loser. Thoughts on the Vince McMahon scandal? Doesn't surprise me at all. Do you think McMahon is going? I don't think he'll go to jail because technically nothing he did was illegal. You know, demeaning, sexually exploitive, but it's not like he was, roofying them and getting them up in the room and taking a dump on them. You know, he wasn't doing anything like that. So, deplorable, yes. Illegal, no. I think it's from a channel called Zitty Boy. Okay. Zitty Boy. I'll check it out maybe later. Maybe later. Maybe later when the shit get greater. Yeah, for a while there, he just completely slipped my mind. Tokes. For a while there, Tokes was showing up in the chat. Like every week. He hasn't shown up lately. I know he's okay because he's still making videos, but he hasn't shown up in one of my live streams in a good while. Not in a good while. What is Icy Rhythms up to today? I don't know, man. He was making videos semi-regularly at one point, and that kind of dropped off, and I still see him every now and again on Twitter, posting on Twitter, but that's about it. Yes, I remember when Tokes threatened to do all sorts of things to me. That's included. There's a whole episode dedicated to that in the Tray for Life documentary, you know. Yeah, yeah, the thing I made last year. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, there's a whole episode about the whole Tokes thing. And I had Tokes' blessing to make it, too. It's amazing how many of those you remember when, and all of that is covered in the Tray for Life documentary. Which just proves to me that y'all didn't watch it. Or at least some of you didn't. I put so much work into that. Come on, guys. I put a lot of work into that. Yeah, somebody already brought up Zaire earlier in the chat, Magi. Zaire's still around. I don't know if he makes videos anymore, but he's still around. He's active on Twitter. He has, I can't really say much about. I can't really say much about what his activity is because he's had me blocked on Twitter for years. Zaire is afraid of me. He says I'm crazy. Yeah, I know Tokes is a traveling man. He at least the last time I heard, he lived out of his car. Although he has friends that he stays with, but then that it's their houses that you're seeing when he's actually filming in a home. And I wish things weren't that bad for him, but it is what it is. Hard eating Zaire, oh Lord. I appoint you armchair CEO of Xbox. How would you fix the company? I would kill their hardware division and send them pure third party like Sega. That's what I would do. What happened to MLD? He came back and vanished. He became a full-on Twitter troll. He wasn't getting the views that he expected to get off of YouTube, so he just stuck with Twitter instead. Yes, Hard 8 also has me blocked. And every time he gets killed on Twitter and has to bring up a new account, I'll go subscribe to it, and the minute that he realizes that I'm subscribed to him, he blocks me again. All because I would bring, every time that we were in a Skype call, I'd bring up the story he told about having to grab a dude's junk during a prison fight to survive. And I would always troll him about having to grab some dude's junk to win a fight. And so he eventually got tired of me doing that, and so he blocks me every time he finds me. What is your thoughts on Ginger Billy? Who is Ginger Billy? I don't know anyone named Commander Carl either. We don't really travel in the same circles, Blaze. I don't know a lot of the channels you watch and stuff. We've got about a half hour to go, folks. Half hour to go, 160 left on the goal. Thanks to everyone who's donated tonight. Even Richard. I'm kidding, Richard. I'm kidding. Oh! Would you grab junk to win an unwinnable fight? No, I might kick a man in the junk. Might knee him in the junk. I wouldn't grab a handful of it, though. I mean, I'm not afraid to say it. I've drop kicked a dude in the nards, but I've never reached up and grabbed me a good handful of it. I mean, come on. I donated my thumbs up for the stream. Oh, thank you, Alien. Appreciate you. Yes, that's the thing about Hard 8. Hard 8 can dish it out, but he can't take it worth a damn. He'd get easily offended at the slightest little thing. He hated me so much that even when that whole thing went down with MVP Deadly Messiah, and me and Dark Cloud were trolling him, and he ended up losing his temper, and he beat up his girlfriend's father, and he ended up in jail. When he finally came out and he made a video about it, I posted in the comments to that, and he replied, and he admitted, yes, you and Dark Cloud got under my skin, and I lost my temper because there were other things that were going on. He admitted to our involvement in that. But even with that on the record, with MVP saying, yes, you two played a part in me getting arrested that night, Hard 8 would try to refute that every time I brought it up. You didn't have nothing to do with that. You had nothing. You weren't even there. He'd straight up lie. When originally Nintendo Ultra had the whole thing saved on his channel so people could hear me and Dark Cloud trolling the crap out of MVP that night. But Hard 8 hated me so much that he didn't want me to get any kind of credit for that night. And so you weren't even there. You had nothing to do with it. I don't know what's up Hard 8's butt, but it's been up there for a long time. Are you going to play any of those games that hit PS Premium? I played a little bit of Daxter tonight before the stream started. I earned a few trophies. Isn't Dark Cloud the guy who got trolled super hard by Dream 308? Yeah, Dark Cloud is the one that started the whole "give me your address" thing. Yeah, and I mean, again, I'm not the one that came up with this, okay? So this is not me, but there's a reason why Dark Cloud had the nickname the Yellow Hulk. Because he could snap like that. I didn't give him that name. I think it was Black Bond that gave him that name, and it stuck. He's in the bedroom, officer. Yeah. Yeah. Officer, he's in here. He's in the bedroom. Yep. But yet, Hard 8 claims that I wasn't even on that stream that night. I wasn't even on that Skype call. But people can remember, he's in the bedroom, officer. Yeah, MVP let his emotions get the best of him, but then again, he'd get into it with alcohol, and he'd lose his cool every stream, man. Every stream, he would get bent out of shape, start screaming at everybody, because he'd get so drunk. And that's what made it fun, was because it didn't take much to set him off. I mean, do you know what he originally got mad at me for that night? Because I told he was making fun of JRPGs, and I told him, look, the way you play Madden nowadays with the menus you go through and picking the moves, it's basically the same as playing a turn-based RPG. And he lost his shit because of that. And I took that one thing that he got mad at, and me and Dark Cloud just started going at him, and just elevated it from that one thing until he exploded. And that's what happened that night. He got mad because I compared Madden to a JRPG. Now, would he have gotten mad at that if he hadn't have been, 3 sheets to the wind on alcohol? I don't know. I don't know. But man, it didn't take much that night. It didn't take much. And Hard Eight, he likes to sell himself as, hood and old school, and nothing affects him, nothing can shake him and whatnot. He's one of the easiest to troll in the community, man. It doesn't take nothing to get under his skin. That's why he has me blocked on everything. Because all I'd have to do to just totally set him off is go in there and just type "grab the dick." That's all it would take. He's that sensitive. That sensitive, the fact that I haven't had anything to say to him in maybe 2 or 3 years, he still has me blocked. Still has me blocked. And like I said before, if he gets suspended and has to create another account to circumnavigate the Twitter rules, one of the first things he does when he creates his new account is he blocks me. You don't believe me? Ask Black Bond. Black Bond knows all about it. Got about 20 minutes left, folks. 20 minutes. Yeah, I've never been, I will block people on here if they're spamming the chat so excessively that it's making it hard for other people to get their questions and stuff in. If they're just spamming the chat with stupid crap, then yeah, I'll block them. Not because they're actually getting under my skin or anything, but because they're actually lessening the experience of the people that actually care about the show. And so I'll block them when it's starting to affect you guys. But that's about it. Like I've blocked Shadowhood a couple of times for being stupid. Yes, I have. I've blocked you a couple of times. Or at least I've hidden you. I've hidden your comments anyway. What are some games that you wish would hit PlayStation Plus Classics with full trophy support? Oh, I don't know. Some of the PS1 games like Alundra and stuff like that, I'd love to have an excuse to play through Alundra again and earn trophies with it. Blocking spammers makes sense, but blocking over an argument seems weak. Yeah. Usually that just means you don't have a decent counter. For the most part. "15 minutes left, folks. Do you still talk to Humpmaster?" No. I haven't talked to Humpmaster Flex in forever. I mean, I don't think he's even posted a video in the last couple of years. And the last time he did post a video, dude looks older than me. He looks older than me. And I know I've got at least 10 years on him, but he looks older than me now. I can still grow a full head of hair. You guys saw that. He can't. He's rocking that reversed horseshoe look. The reversed mohawk. That's what he's rocking these days. He looks older than me. Something about his genetics, man. I don't know. The thing about Humpmaster, you could as so much as you could be friends with people in the Trey Brotherhood. He didn't believe in that because he ended up totally getting into Black Bond's concept of, everyone on the internet except me is an NPC. And so, there was no being friends with Hump because he would troll everybody, no matter what kind of relations you'd had on the site. He would leave, or he would troll everyone. Didn't Humpmaster leave because he thought Next Gen was a Pete? No, that was Dream 308. Dream 308 left because he thought that Next Gen was a diddler. Kind of hard to get Humpmaster confused with Dream 308, but here we are. Is Solid Revan, not that I'm aware of. He's got the same wife that he did when he started. He's in the same house. I mean, they did move once. They moved out of a rental into a house that they purchased. But it's in the same general area, and it's the same wife that's there in the videos. I mean, I know exactly where he lives. He doesn't live that far from one of the places I used to live in Florida back in the day. I know exactly where in Florida he lives. Nice, quiet area, but I actually talked about moving to Florida instead of moving to another area of Texas, and I was talking to Rev about that because I knew the area he was in, but I decided against it just because of how bad homeowners insurance is getting out there, and so I came here, and then of course 2 days before I move in, a tornado hits the neighborhood, so I'm oh, but it didn't affect my homeowner's insurance at least. I don't have contact with Dream 308, and I haven't had contact with him in years. Don't know what happened to him. Him and his garbage bag background. I've lost contact with a lot of them, like the Andy Martyr. Do you remember the Andy Martyr? He had like the Andy Martyr. He was the guy that did music, but he said that he claimed at the time that he had a fatal disease. I used to talk to him quite a bit back in the day. You need homeowners insurance anywhere, Raymond. Nah, Rev and his wife split, I think, on the Solid Cast. He talks about other chicks. I don't see how that's possible because where he films his videos with his son is the same house he's been in for like over a decade. And his wife was in a video not that incredibly long ago. I mean, he just posted a video with his son just the other day, and it's in the same house. It's the same house with the same recliner and everything. Because he still films his videos with the camera from his Xbox. Does Black Baron have you blocked? I don't know. I don't know if he does or not. I don't think he does. I haven't really seen any tweets from him lately. He was bragging so much about being on AEW Dark, and then apparently that fell through, and I haven't heard much from him since. Drapes, mofo. I remember the truth setting you free. He was a different dude, and that's about as nice as I can be about. He was odd. He was odd. I mean, I got along with him for the most part until he had a hissy fit about me not choosing not to take a side in the whole Trey Civil War crap, and I had to kind of give him a wake up call there. But we got along after that. I mean, he made two of my intros for me. So we parted on good terms, but I think he backed out of doing the whole interview thing when he saw what Trey for Life actually was. And we got 9 minutes left, folks. 9 minutes left. 9-minute warning. I can feel Dream 308's ghost. Yeah, I don't really know what happened to Dream. He and his wife probably stay friendly for their kids, but you got to keep up with the solid cast. At best, it's an open marriage. At worst, they're split and stay friendly for the kids. I don't know. Him and I talk on the semi-regular, and he hasn't mentioned anything about getting divorced or anything. I don't really watch the solid cast that much. I mean, half the time he's not even on it, so. Blaze shows up in here every now and again. Not the Blaze that you've been seeing messages from on here, but, Blaze 4K. He shows up in here every so often, but not very often. Not very often at all. I could be just totally reading it wrong, but that's what it sounds like from watching the pod. Well, he's always joked about how being monogamous is a very hard thing for him. He's joked about that in the past, but I don't know that he's actually engaged in it. All I can tell you for sure is like whenever he does the solid cast and whenever he makes a video, it's from the same house he's been living in for over a decade. Yeah, we mentioned that already. Somebody mentioned that already earlier, Shadowhood. And remember, I mentioned the whole "what's your address" thing. He's the one that popularized that. He claimed that he had unlimited frequent flyer miles. So the government would basically pay for him to fly out to wherever you were to kick your butt. Give me your address. I can be there tonight. I know what Solid Rev does for a living, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is. He's had a couple of close calls with his employers not liking him saying something on the internet, so I'm not going to tell you what he does for a living out of respect for him. Five-minute warning, folks. 5-minute warning. Y'all haven't had as many questions tonight, I don't think, as 2 weeks ago. Can we get a hint? No, you can't get a hint. It's a man's livelihood. You don't need to know what he does for a living. No, that's not it, Farb. Don't send guesses because I'm not going to tell you whether it's right or wrong from this point on. Pinhead versus Sauron. I don't know. I don't know. After all, Pinhead got defeated by one of his own, so who can say for sure? But then again, we never really saw Sauron do anything in the trilogy other than, like, cause minions to come attack. You didn't really see what kind of power Sauron really had in the trilogy. I didn't dox Solid Rev. What are you talking about? I've never given his phone number, his email, his address. I've never said what he does for a living. I don't know what you're talking about, Raymond, but I did not dox Solid Rev. I know what he does for a living because he told me what he did for a living in a private conversation, Shadow. Yes, we know El Presidor's real name. I actually mentioned what his real name is in the Trey for Life documentary. I don't think I gave his full name out, but I definitely gave out his first name. He has a pretty boring generic name. His first name is Charles. His family calls him Chucky. True story. That's not me doxing him because all of that has already been made public a long time ago. I'm not telling you anything that anyone that follows El Presidor doesn't already know. And El Presidor doesn't hide the fact that he does like construction contracting stuff, like sheetrock and that kind of thing. I mean, he's talked about that publicly, so. Did you give a shout out to the flaggers in the documentary? Oh, you mean like Sony Fanboy and all that? Yeah, all of them are mentioned. All of that whole that whole thing is in the documentary. Sony Fanboy, Dogmy, and all that. Although I didn't have as much to go on with Dogmy, so I think I just like mentioned him in passing, because I mean, he was a 14-year-old kid. He was a 14-year-old kid. An Eagle Scout, stealing internet from his next door neighbor. Chucky like the doll. Yes, that's what his family calls him. Well, that's Solid Rev doxing himself. That's not me doxing him, High for Life. I never doxed him. And I don't know if he ever told what he does for a living, but, he told me behind the scenes, and I have never told anybody what he does. Remember how people used to think that El Presidor worked at Walmart? That's because of how many videos he made walking around in the Walmart. They didn't understand why someone who didn't walk around at Walmart would be at Walmart so much. But, El Presidor, when he's not doing his contract work, has no life. And so he has to find things to do to end his boredom, and one of them is going to troll people at the mall and at Walmart. I'm your friend to the end. Heidi ho, ha ha ha. Okay. You remember Uriel? Yes, I remember Uriel and Dusk 506. In fact, I actually have one of Dusk 506's videos is in one of the episodes of Trey for Life. I managed to find one of his old Trey Brotherhood clip videos. I found one and I added it to one of the episodes. So if you remember Dusk 506, I kind of gave him a shout out too. Are you going to do another project like that? Well, the Trey Brotherhood was the only kind of troll group type thing that I was involved in. So it's the only documentary I could really make. I wouldn't make a documentary about a group that I had no involvement with, you know. I have ideas for other things that I want to do, but I haven't decided how exactly I want to tackle it, because some of the things I don't have footage of, so I would just be talking about it with nothing to visually represent what I'm talking about. To the point where I've even considered looking at AI applications like Luma to see if I could use that to kind of create a facsimile of footage that will go along with the things that I'm talking about. But I don't know how that would work. No, Rev and Dumars don't do the same kind of work. Rev and Dumars don't. They're not. They didn't work together at the same job. They're in two different careers. You didn't make it into the documentary, Magi, because you were just somebody that trolled me in the chat. You weren't, you weren't out there making Xbox Republic videos or Trey Brotherhood videos. But no, High for Life. Dumars and Rev aren't in the same line of work. Not in the same line of work. Anyway, it's 9 o'clock. And, we've got like the same 4 or 5 people asking questions at this point. And we've hit the 3 hours. We had $80 in donations, $160 left to go to get the shelves that we need. Appreciate everybody that donated, but this is where I'm going to have to say, yes, I remember the Great Exposer. He's still around on Twitter. I'm going to have to say goodbye now. I used to be Uriel and Dusk's flagging buddy. I remember, because at one point you guys decided that y'all were going to be the next Dogmy, the next Unholy Alliance, and started flagging a bunch of videos, and I exposed y'all too, just like I did Sony Fanboy and the others. I remember. But anyway, it's 9 o'clock, and I don't go past 3 hours anymore because I'm old. So I appreciate the $80 in donations. This is where I'm going to say goodbye. I will see y'all again next Saturday. Same 7th time, same 7th channel.